Welcome back to episode 179 of the Fight Rundown here on we're recording this on a Sunday, and I think this comes out on a Thursday or a Sunday.
Something
I
like
don't
that.
know.
But I'm telling you what, I'm liking these Sunday podcasts that we're doing. It's always quite chill, isn't it?
It's double the workout load, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It feels like a free day.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's good. But usually it's nice when you've had the boxing or the UFC to review. But something different today, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Got a different thing today. You want to explain what we've got today?
Yeah, so the aim of the game... Oh, wait. Wrong part. What we're doing today is the best fighter to never hold an undisputed UFC championship. Me and Balls have come up with a list of names. And, yeah, we're going to run through them and kind of justify where we're putting them, where we're ranking them.
Yeah, I think we should definitely do a ranking, shouldn't we?
Yeah,
at the end.
Out of 9 we have.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Let's get straight into it. First one on the list, Tony Ferguson. El Kukui, of course, one of the most legendary UFC fighters in history. 12-fight win streak at one point. Supposed to face Khabib 3 times, and then now currently on a 7-fight loss streak. Bowles, where do we want to start about Tony?
It's interesting, isn't it? Because he deserved that potential shot with Khabib at one point, didn't he? And at one point, people would have even been saying, "Look, this is tough for Khabib." At one point, he did look that good at times,
100%.
And but
it was a 50-50 fight, wasn't it?
It was at the time, and I really don't know. I don't really know what the catalyst was to the downfall, if you like, of Tony Ferguson. But the guy couldn't buy a win at, I don't know what I'm trying to say.
He couldn't buy a win if his life depended on it.
Yeah, exactly. Full stop.
And he did put his life on the line.
He did, yeah.
I mean, he was in his prime when he was...
Hold on, I'm talking, brother.
when he was coming out with stuff like that, dropping... But, yeah, he was one of the most skilled fighters, and then next thing you know, it all just come crashing down, didn't it?
It did, and, it's really sad to see, because... like I say, it sort of came out of nowhere for me, because I remember Tony Ferguson being one of my favourites, and like I say, one of the best to do it at one point, and then all of a sudden he gets a loss, and then the losses keep piling up. It must be to do with age mostly.
Yeah, 100%. And of course, the Justin Gaethje lost first. We're
only
going to keep just a few minutes on each, really. So
yeah,
who you got next?
Got Dustin Poirier, and I think this is a great... I'm not going to say where we're putting him, but I think this is a great shout for at least the top 3.
100%.
Insane, and he's still picking up wins against the top guys to this day. I know a lot of people had, before the fight, had Benoit Saint Denis pulling it off. We didn't. Of course we didn't.
No, not at all.
Of course we was riding with Dustin all the way, and he proved us right, and he shows that he's still in the top 5 of the division, even now. Yeah,
100%. Some legendary wins. I mean, we're talking about Benoit Saint Denis, of course, the 2 against McGregor. Also some huge losses, which is cool to see. Like, he's really had ups and downs. Michael Johnson's the one that comes to my head.
Yeah.
Of course, the first McGregor one, but again, just like Tony though, he has won an interim title.
Yeah.
So are we including? Personally, I see it interim as an undisputed championship as well.
All right.
Because you're a champion in the interim. You know what I mean? If you're an interim champion, you win the real fight. It gets classed as a defense, really. I think. I don't know about you. Where do you see the interim debate?
I think. I mean, I know in boxing they have these sort of interim stuff, and it's sort of like next in line.
Yeah.
Next in line for the actual title, but I do think it is a little bit different in the UFC. I do agree with
100%.
that. Yeah, I agree with you on that. It is pretty much a world title.
It's prestigious, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
But moving on, Justin Gaethje, again, someone who won the interim title off Tony Ferguson, an insane win run, and then obviously again runs into Khabib, taking some big losses, especially against Oliveira.
Yeah,
one that comes to mind, but one of the most exciting fighters ever.
Exactly, and that's one of the main reasons why he is on the list, because the human highlight reel, it's true, innit? And even gets the backflip in after tough rounds, like insane. But
have you seen the one where he fails it twice?
Yeah,
he still goes, he still goes and does it.
And had some great nights with Justin Gaethje, and you know, I mean, is he at that pinnacle? I'm not too sure.
I thought at one point he was.
Yeah,
I remember I genuinely put like the house on Gaethje to beat Oliveira.
yeah.
I can't even explain how annoyed I was when he lost. Because when you put it in money terms, like the point I'm making is I thought he was in his prime, 2021, 2022. Obviously, even this year he's looked good. He's beaten. Obviously, he's a BMF champion. We'll see how he does against Holloway. A lot of people are backing Gaethje.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think he's definitely in that. If we're looking at the top 9 that we're going to discuss, maybe he's in the top 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Maybe even top 2. We hadn't had a proper look at it. We hadn't decided a rankings.
No, that's going to be on the spot, to be fair, isn't it?
And then next, Uriah Faber.
Talk to me a little bit about Uriah Faber's career.
Uriah Faber, I mean, where do we start? He was not the maker, the owner or the founder of Team Alpha Male. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
He literally raised champions such as Dominic Cruz, such as Cody Garbrandt, TJ Dillashaw, who snaked him. And it feels like everyone he brought up on his come up, and everyone just beat him. Everyone was better than him, weren't they?
Yeah.
How annoying is that? Like watching, I guess being the sensei or someone who's put so many people on and still being on the back seat.
I know, and you can't forget the Ultimate Fighter as well.
Against
with
McGregor. Yeah,
so,
that was supposed to happen. McGregor was begging for that fight.
Yeah.
Which was it. He wanted it in Ireland, but I mean, to be fair, Uriah Faber was a sweet wrestler.
He was
really good.
What would you say is the win that gives him the most credibility to be on this list?
It's a good question. I'm gonna have to go with. I mean, he's picked up some huge wins. Maybe Benavidez. I don't know. Would you clap? That was probably his biggest win. I think it's more the title losses he's had. I mean, Jose Aldo's fight.
Yeah.
That he lost. I think that's when you realise like he's just always going to be at the level below.
Yes.
But I've never seen, especially when we've came into MMA. I didn't really watch WEC. I think I was a bit too young for it.
Yeah, I did.
Didn't know how to watch it.
No.
But then when he joined UFC, you always, when I did start watching it, I don't know, 2012, 13, obviously properly, he did seem just that second level of competition. Yeah, I mean, you didn't really look at him as the main man. But I'd probably say, that Aldo fight was probably when the whole world realised, maybe he's just the second best.
Yeah.
And he's probably the greatest second best fighter ever.
Yeah, and there's nothing
division.
wrong with that. To be fair, that's still class, isn't it? Well,
such a backhanded compliment. But who's next?
So one of my favourite fighters in the UFC of all time.
Balls loves this guy.
Yeah, Soldier of God, Yoel Romero, and
Good
I
shout.
think incredible. One of the scariest fighters to ever grace the UFC, I think.
Oh
and he's still in Bellator. Is he?
Yeah. He's the PFL. He's putting.
This is the same thing now.
Yeah, well, Bellator, PFL, merge, whatever. He is putting. I can't lie. He's putting some absolute howlers up, but he's still scary, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And
the fights are boring.
Yeah, well, the fight with Paulo Costa was not boring.
No, oh my god, yeah,
that was a great fight. And
even Rob Whittaker's.
Yeah,
too.
Yeah, both of them fights as well. I do think he is in the top 5 scariest men to come into the UFC.
Well, at the age Khabib retired is when Yoel Romero made his pro debut.
Yeah.
Or started MMA, something like that. That's crazy.
It's insane. And it just goes, I mean, I wonder whether he was on any special juice like Paulo Costa, you know.
Nah, they would have caught him, wouldn't they? Yeah. Would you see that Joe Rogan clip? Sorry to cut you off there.
That's right. About the eyes.
Yeah.
The eye orbit was 3 times bigger or something.
That he recovered quicker than any man the doctor had ever seen.
Yeah.
It's like one of the most famous doctors.
Yeah, it's like the muscles in like his orbital or whatever are like 3 times the size of a normal man's.
That's insane.
So it just recovers. It's insane, isn't it? I mean, if I knew that before going into a fight, I'd be like, what am I? That's literally like, God. People generally think like he's like an experiment.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's that video of him biting the cage like that. Genuinely shit me up the first time I watched it. That needs to be a soundboard.
Yeah, we'll have to get that on. But yeah, I just think purely because of the fear factor he'd bring into the cage, and he had a lot of potential coming in. I mean, you look at some of his earlier career highlights, you just look at it and you think, how did anyone ever beat this guy?
Yeah.
But obviously you get into the UFC, it's a different gravy almost, and at the very, very top level. but he's definitely in there with a shout with some of the top guys to never win it.
Yeah, 100%. And then going on to Alexander Gustafsson. I mean, this might be one of the winners.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about quite literally the best, I feel like Poirier, Tony, Gaethje, maybe not Tony, but Gaethje and Poirier probably should have won a title.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They probably choked.
Underperformed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poirier kind of choked Khabib in a way. Like, he almost had it. Gaethje, I mean, how did he not beat Oliveira again? I'll say it again. Yeah. Gustafsson was quite clearly, similar to Uriah Faber, but just at a harder weight class, the third best fighter for his life.
Yeah.
DC second, John Jones first, quite clearly.
And it's really, when it comes to this, it's no shame in that. I mean, DC looking at an Olympic gold medalist and two-weight champion. John Jones looking at
the greatest of all time.
The greatest of all time, literally. And people still think that Gustafsson won one of those fights.
Yeah.
So, if there's anyone who could clinch a number one spot here, it could be Gustafsson.
It's going to be so hard to rank.
It is really hard because people literally think he beat the best of all time, and then his only other loss, was it the only other loss? He's lost again, hasn't he? I can't remember.
Gustafsson, yeah, he has, yeah.
Anyway.
It was a Paul Craig.
Paul Craig, damn.
I think he had a bit of it, obviously he fell off, but in terms of best fights, like in his prime, he probably was one of the best.
Prime, definitely one of the best. Like I say, he's just ran into the wrong era at the wrong time.
Might be tweaking on Paul Craig. Or it might be an ankle. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I'm not quite sure. But moving on to the next one, I think these are the weakest three, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
I mean, the first one, Overeem, we'll just touch on them a bit quicker.
Alistair Overeem.
Yeah, that's the exact point. Quite clearly on drugs in his prime.
And but I tell you what, fully juiced Alistair Overeem, one of the scariest.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And the best physique
ever
in combat sports history, maybe.
Have you seen that girl, like one of the monster girls, like when he takes his top off for the weigh-in and the way she reacts? Like.
Oh, mate, honestly, I think I'd react the same. I can't lie.
Obviously, I remember the first time I watched him was when he kicked Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Right, and obviously Brock Lesnar had all his intestines rooms. I thought, oh my god, he was scary. I'm surprised he didn't win. Next, Masvidal. Can't lie, obviously he's my guy, but I feel like we talk about him too much.
I mean, he came back from the dead against Darren Till, didn't he? And then come back, goes on a little run, but gets pulverised by my guy Kamaru Usman.
Could have beat Usman.
Yeah, well,
like if you really, do you know what I mean? If it was a different timeline, maybe.
Yeah.
If it was like Usman's so good though.
How was he going to beat
him? Actually, yeah.
He just was like not even second best. He was like what?
Yeah,
fifth best.
He was just a name, wasn't he?
He was a big name who would sell tickets and be exciting, but never at world title level.
No. And Carlos Condit again kind of fought everyone. Got to rate that. Long losing streak at the end of his career, but he's kind of hopped him with all the best, which is cool. But should we rank them?
Yep, let's do it. So,
right, let's open this. Thingy up. Where is it? Right, so 1 to 9. I reckon we go.
Are we putting Condit at 9, or we put him like Masvidal at 9? It's one of the bottom
Condit's,
3.
Yeah.
Is Overeem just? Are we literally putting Overeem in there just because he looked like a beast, or?
Yeah, I think
is Overeem 9?
Pride. Yeah. Let's go Overeem.
I think that's fair considering he was juiced up when he was his best.
Yeah. 8 Masvidal.
Yeah.
I think. 7 Condit.
Yep.
This is where it gets tough.
Yeah. So, Gustafsson, Romero, Faber.
I'm gonna go Yol.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're happy with that.
I mean, realistically, Uriah Faber is better.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Yeah, I don't mind that. Number 5, Faber, Uriah Faber. Okay, so
ooh.
I'm thinking Ferguson or Gaethje here.
Okay, Ferguson or Gaethje. I
don't
know
if you're thinking.
Obviously, Gaethje beat Ferguson. No, I agree with you.
Oh, you agree?
Yeah, Gaethje beat Ferguson, but also Ferguson on a 12-fight win streak.
Yeah.
Oh my god, this is such a toss up. Let's go. You say it, Bowles.
I think the losing streak of Ferguson puts him at 4.
Okay. Also, we're going to put this on our TikTok and Instagram and X.
Yes,
so make
and
sure
X.
to check that out with a full graphic. And follow us at the Fight Rundown. Top 3. Gaethje then.
Yeah, Gaethje at 3. And then we've got Poirier and Gustafsson. I think...
Oh.
I think Poirier is 1, isn't he? I think he put Poirier at 1.
I think I was... Yeah, I was
you
going to say
Gustafsson?
Gustafsson 1.
I don't mind having a game live on the Fight Rundown of rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, do you play shoot or nah?
Rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah, thank you. That is why we're co-hosts.
Yeah, exactly.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, you didn't say shoot, man.
I'm going to put the outro on just so it avoids any arguments. Right, here we go.
Rock, paper, scissors. Rock, paper, scissors.
Ah!
Come on!
Okay, you got to hit a thingy.
What?
Darts player. Welsh. Go in price. You got to hit a price. Go on.
Oh, right. Love that. I can see why you would have gone for Gustafsson.
Yeah, they're both valid, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. It could have gone either way. That's why I was willing to go rock, paper, scissors on it, because it is a toss-up.
Right. We hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. Episode 179. We have a huge guest. That was 180. So make sure to check it out. I've been Chief.
Been Bowles.
You can follow us on The Fight Rundown at YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and X.
And X.
Oh, TikTok and X. Oh.
Remember that.
So we'll catch you soon. Peace.